Yo, what's up everybody? Very nice with you here. Bringing you Dr. Stone manga review. This is episode 6 titled Two Nations of Stones. This was a very exciting but hype episode. We still continue, Senku's flashback and the things that he's been through before he, revived Tsukasa and Taiju and Yuzuraya and all that. Before we led up to, his death scene, supposedly. But as he's gathering and fixing up the house and stuff, he realized that one person can't do it all. So he was like, I'm going to revive someone to help me. Somebody who's big and strong. And I'm going to revive the person that was next to me that I found. And surprisingly, when he dug up this person's body to see who it was, it just had to be that one person. It was just Taiju. And I'm like, how are you next to Taiju? It's kind of weird because when he was turned to stone, he was inside a building with other scientists. Taiju was outside with Yuzuraya. So you shouldn't Yuzuraya and Taiju's statue be together, not his and Taiju's. That was kind of weird, but it is what it is there. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. But yeah, he saw Taiju and he decided to use the nectar acid from the cave because he see a whole bunch of birds are reincarnating from it. But he can't figure out why it's not working. And he basically couldn't figure out why until later on. And we found out something very interesting, which is one of the things I love about Dr. Stone. It's science and how real it is. We find out that E equal MC squared, of course if you didn't know, came from Albert Einstein, who is known as one of the greatest or the greatest of scientists. And it stands for energy over mass, which is basically energy and our body's a mass. And it produces that. Through, running and eating and all that produces energy for our bodies to run. So he was like, since the brain runs 400 calories of energy, maybe because my brain didn't shut off and it kept on running, maybe that's why I was able to revive and everybody else wasn't. That's what gave him the idea to put Senku inside that cave, Taiju inside that cave, and hope that if enough of that acid falls on him, it'll start to awaken him slowly. So that's why he was standing with his head up straight, looking at the acid. He was hoping for it to get to the stone part of the head of Taiju so it can eventually crack that open and the head could start running and that energy can feed the rest of the body. And with that process over time, it could eventually break. Which, as we already know, that's exactly what happened. Before he figured out the fast way, mixing it with alcohol and grapes would cause it to run faster. But this was like the beginning stage of his experiments and stuff. And after all this thinking and flashback, Senku got up and cracked his neck and was like, I give y'all 10 billion points for succeeding in this, even though I didn't give y'all that much hint. And Yuzuraya started crying. And we had this funny moment where Taiju hugs Senku and kind of breaks his back, and Senku kicks him and was like, I want to kill you, you almost broke my back. And I was laughing. I love seeing their relationship and how they are as friends. I think that's pretty cool. And as that, sentimental moment's going on, he's thanking them for, he didn't thank them, but he basically told them, I'm surprised that you were able to figure it out and stuff like that. And he was like, I'm not going to say thank you for every little thing that we do for each other since we are friends. And they got kind of happy hearing that and all. And then they started gathering materials and stuff. And as they gathered materials, Senku kind of gave Yuzuraya a dangerous objective to do. But he told her in like a low key from Taiju not to hear, but Taiju caught on. He said, ooh, I want to know. And basically what Senku's plan is to have Taiju and Yuzuraya go follow Tsukasa. Or Shishio. I like using that name better, his first name, but basically they want him to go follow Tsukasa. And it was like, what? He's trying to kill you. Why should we have to follow him? And this is when Senku brings up a great idea, and it kind of makes sense. He was like, as long as y'all two are following him, and y'all with him and by his side, he's gonna think, oh, since I'm dead, you guys have no one else to follow. So he's gonna not expect anything, and he's gonna expect y'all to follow his orders. And when y'all following his orders, you're conspiring him, and that will give me the information off of y'all so I can know what he's doing. Because while he's building his military army, I'm going to build a kingdom of science. Then Taiju comes in with a really great question. how are you going to build the kingdom of science if Shishio just basically is going to conquer the cave where the nectar's at? He was like, oh, that's easy. I'm going to hire the people from the village that caused the smoke screen from earlier. I'm going to go to their village and recruit all of them to be my people of science, to help me create things and stuff like that. And gather more materials to create this kingdom of science to combat Shishio and his people. That he's going to reincarnate once he makes enough of that elixir, now that he knows how to make the miracle potion. So that was their plan, and we had this sentimental moment where they disappear and Taiju screamed out his name, which was pretty stupid, but he caught on to himself. He was like, I can't speak no more. And he just does this. And Senku just looks at him and laughs, and he just waves while laughing. And while that's going on, we actually have Tsukasa getting attacked. Who did he get attacked by? The chick that we saw with the blue dress. We see her, and she actually attacking Tsukasa, and she's like, I'm attacking you for killing that sorcerer in cold blood and taking a woman hostage. I saw the whole thing. I couldn't hear what y'all was saying, but I saw everything. And the way she was speaking to Tsukasa, he noticed that she's speaking kind of primal. She was like the Lord of Fire, and he was been like, oh, that's the explosion. You said the volcano, because you saw an explosion there. So he kind of caught on that she thought that was a punishment from the gods or volcanoes, that that explosion. She didn't know what it was. And he realized the instant that she didn't know what that was, that she can't be from their generation. She must be from a new generation of humans that's around. And he started thinking to himself, I can either conquer or kill these people at ease, but for now I'm going to leave them alone. And he ends up slapping her away and cutting down a tree to land on her, to pin her down, and he just walks away. But Senku hears this noise, so he goes and he checks it out, and he's like, oh my god. And he sees her under that tree, and he's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. He's like, you have two options. I can use a little bit of dynamite I have now to blow off the tree stumps away from you, with a small chance of you getting hurt, or if you're okay and you give me some time, I can build an equipment to pick this up and get it off you. And she's like, okay then, I'm gonna wait because nothing in my body is hurt. I'm just pinned down under the tree. So Senku made like this little, from rope and wheels, and wrapped it around the tree, like a wagon device to pull up, like a crane almost, you can say. And he pulls up the tree and ties it up to another tree so it can stay away from her. And then she says something very interesting. She's like, I like your, not just the way you invent things, but your determination to never give up. I like that in you, and that making me like you more, and now I'm kind of intrigued into you. And I was like, what? Did she really just say that? And we also get her name that she states. Her name's Kohaku. And just to let you know, now, Kohaku is definitely best girl of the series. Hands down, take my word for it. But that was basically the episode. So Senku has a friend now, one that's interested in him, so let's see how long this can keep up. He was kind of worried that Tsukasa might have got into this village first and got his hands on them, but thanks to the dialogue between Tsukasa and her earlier, you can imagine that that her people and herself never spoke to him. So this would give Senku a perfect time to infiltrate and try to, warm up to them and get them to be on his side, the side of science, the side of the right path, as he calls it. So that's going to be very interesting to see. But this was a really great episode. Her fight with Tsukasa was pretty good. He was very surprised hearing it himself. A martial artist like you in this time, how did you get revived? If you wasn't revived by Senku's group, how do you have these skills? So he was very impressed. Of course, she still wasn't a match for him at the end of the day, but he was very impressed. So I want to know, is there other people in her village that are powerful as her and as skillful? Because if that's the case, that'd be very helpful for Taiju, Uraza, and Senku. Since they want to build up the kingdom of science with more equipment and people, if he can congregate her people and herself with his group, that'd be a deadly combination. Really strong fighters mixed with science, that'd be very, very deadly. But that was basically the episode. Really great episode, great stuff. Can't wait for next week. Can't wait until the introduction between her people and Senku. That's going to be interesting. But that's all I have for you. Tell me what you like and didn't like about the episode. How much are you loving Dr. Stone so far? I'm enjoying it greatly. I can't wait. I'm already hoping for a season 2 when it ends. Hopefully we get that announcement. Crunchyroll is pushing this pretty hard. So hopefully things work out. Cross our fingers. But that's all I have for you. Peace out and have a good one.